Good evening, fellow rippers. Welcome back to the channel. Mick here with Grip It, Rip It, Chip It. Today with a little bit different type of a video, something I hope you'll enjoy. So let's get right into it. I have my putter here, and as you can see, I painted it black, kind of blacked it out. I have a graphite black shaft on it, and I kind of did some work on it. The problem is, I don't know if you can tell, but this type of paint doesn't really stick to the surface really good. It kind of wears off. You can see up here by the hosel, it's all wearing off. So I decided I'm going to redo it. I bought some ceramic paint that should stick a little bit better, and so we're going to take it apart, sandblast it, and then repaint it, refill the lettering, and customize it a little bit. So that's what we have on tap today. I hope you enjoy that. I thought maybe it was something a little bit different, that it may be a flop or it might work out. Who knows? This particular putter has an insert in it. See if I can show you that on the face. It's got the little black insert. My intention is to make a copper insert to put in the place of that insert. Hopefully it'll work. We'll find out as we go. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to get set up, and then I'll put the putter down. We'll heat it up and try to get the head off of the shaft so we can work with just the head. I don't want to mess up that shaft. It's too nice of a shaft. So, alright, so I've got my setup here. I got my little workbench, my vise, and then I'll just show you this. This is a little clamp, a little rubber clamp or shaft protector, I guess, that you can clamp into a vise to keep from putting all the pressure down on your shaft. Helps to protect it when you're having to hold it. So I'm just going to put it in this way so that I can heat up the hosel and then use my left hand to hold this, and hopefully this is going to come off easy. Normally you can use a shaft puller, and if I was at work and had the tools I have there, it'd be able to come off real easy, but hopefully I can heat it up enough and then just work it by hand. You have to be real careful with graphite not to twist much, because you can unwind the graphite wraps in the shaft. So you want to try to make sure you pull it straight off. There we go, starting to come off. Just got to be real ginger so I don't, real easy, real ginger so I don't mess up that graphite shaft. It does sit down in my hosel. That's the nice thing about mine. And then there you go, comes right off. We have to sandblast all this paint off, and I got all this paint fill in the backside where the snake eyes. This is an old snake eyes putter, so it's got the little snake eyes on the back, you can see, and then it's got some lettering on the bottom that I paint filled. We're going to redo all that stuff after we blast it, paint it. We'll do the paint fill later, but step one is done. The shaft is off of the putter. Alright, so my siphon fed sandblaster is not working for some reason. It's not sucking the sand out to work to blast the putter. So plan B, we'll soak it in acetone, and then we can scrub it with a wire brush, and that should take all the paint off. Alright, this has been soaking for a little bit. I know it's getting kind of dark in here. Sorry about that. I only have one light in the barn right now, and it is dark outside, but we're going to try this just a little bit to see how good it's coming off. I'll hold it here and then just rub. Yeah, it's coming off pretty good so far. But that's how easy that stuff takes the paint off. So I'm just going to kind of work on this a little bit. Alright, rippers, we're back. It is the next day. I spent some time, I'm going to show you the putter here. I spent some time, I don't know how good this will come across, but try to get it back so it'll focus. I spent some time sanding and grinding a little bit so that I could get all the primer paint off, got all the paint out of the grooves. So it's basically back to the silver pewter kind of color that it was. On that top edge right here, I don't think it's going to come across, but there's some little pits. This edge right here has got a little bit of pitting and kind of grooves, and then on the bottom some scratches and scrapes in the metal. So what I'm going to do is use my grinding wheel and try to take some of those grooves out. Now I will tell you that this particular grinding wheel is probably a little bit too aggressive of a wheel for this application. So I'm going to have to be really gentle with it and try to just barely touch the wheel, because it'll take off too much material too quick. So I don't want to take too much off because I don't want to change the weighting too much of the putter. For any of you around the country watching right now, it is hot as can be in Florida right now. Humidity's up and it's hot. You get out here for very long and you're instantly starting to sweat. I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get with this grinder, but alright. So with the Dremel here, I just have this little grinding bit, kind of an angled one, so I can get into the corners a little bit, and then on the edge I can flatten it. So I'm going to just try this and see how this works, and hopefully I can keep it in frame so you all can see, but we'll give it a shot. Right on this ledge, these edges, there are some little dents and pips, and this is helping to, like, I don't know if you can see those right there. It's got a focus right on that edge, right there and there. And then this just kind of grinds those out smooth, so it's back to a smooth surface. Alright, so that's not too bad. It's looking pretty good overall. Alright guys, I think I did get my sandblaster working a little bit. It's just a siphon sandblaster, so I use the air compressor, so that's the noise in the background. I think I got it working somewhat flowing, so I'm going to just try to do a little bit here. I will put you guys down, and then I just have it sitting here on the grass. I'm just going to try to blast it a little bit and see if it will kind of clean it up just a little bit. And I usually would wear a hood and gloves and glasses, but I'm going to stand back and just try to see what it'll do. So it's not bad. It did spray out a little bit. It was probably hard to see on the camera, the sand coming out and blasting this thing, but it just kind of smooths it up a little bit. Takes all those little rough edges from the grinding wheel and the Dremel off. So this is prepped pretty good. Now what the next step will be is I am going to prep the copper insert that we will put in here eventually. So that part I've got a rough cut out, and now it's going to be shaping that up. So that's next. Alright, so this is the copper piece that I'm going to attempt to make the insert with. I ordered it off the internet. It's just I don't know, maybe 20 gauge copper, and I outlined, you probably can't see the line on there, but I outlined the shape of the insert, and now I'm just going to use my grinding wheel, hold this with some pliers, use the grinding wheel to kind of trim this off until it gets shaped to the shape that I need. So this is going to take quite a while because I cut it a little bit away from the line of where I actually need it. So obviously I'm not going to make you all watch this forever. I'll speed this up, but do a little bit of what you're like, and then once I get it all finished, I'll show you the stuff. Alright guys, we're back at it again today. I got my putter and my little copper insert that I'm trying to make, and I'm just going to be, I got it down pretty close, but I'm just going to start making little marks on it and try to whittle it down a little bit at a time until it's the size of here. Alright, it's actually fairly uniform. I don't know if we'll be able to hold this up and see, but I don't know how much that camera is going to pick up with that glare or if it'll focus, but there we go. So you can see the little black line around the copper all the way around, and then when I come around this side it does the same, and it's fairly uniform. It's a, you know, it's not perfect, but I'm doing this by hand. I don't have like a laser cutter or CNC machine or anything cutting this out, so I'm kind of doing it little by little as I can by hand. So now the hard part is going to be routering out this black insert just deep enough for this copper to sit in there. Alright guys, so here's my Dremel. It comes with this little guard that you can put on, and it can be adjusted up and down. Kind of weird bending down like this. So it can be adjusted up and down, so hopefully I can get it right to the level that I need. This will float on top of those edges. I can try to keep it as level as possible, and then the bit will only go down the depth of what I set it. So hopefully I can get that set basically to the depth. I don't know if this will show. I'm sure you guys all understand what I'm trying to tell you, but basically to that depth of, so where just that amount of bit is hanging over the edge of that guard to the depth of that piece of copper. But anyway, if I go a little too deep, I think I can just put a lot extra epoxy, press it down until this is level where I want it, and then the excess will come out. I wipe that off and then it should level off and it'd be fine. And ideally I want this copper to be level with the surface of the rest of the putter, the edges, just like this insert is, just so that it makes the putts roll true and into the hole. I've actually been putting pretty good lately, so I don't want to mess it up, which I probably will with this putter. Changing all this putter. I shouldn't mess with this putter. I should be doing this to a different putter because I really like this putter. I really should just paint this putter the way I want and not put this copper insert in, because that might mess it all up. But I figured it'd be cool looking. I actually really like this putter. And if you're watching this, comment below, do you prefer, like this, I like the blade style. My wife come cruising in on the road, scared me half to death. I like blade style putters. I have a little bit of an arc to my swing, so the toe hang on a blade putter helps me. Do you like blade putter style better or mallet style? What do you use and why do you like it? Also, what brand do you like? I know Odyssey putters are very popular. Ping putters are popular. So what do you like? Scotty Cameron? I like, there's an even roll putter that's a blade style that I really like. I'd like to get one of those. So if I mess this up, that even roll might be in the bag. Do you like Odyssey, Ping, TaylorMade? What kind of putters do you like? Also, do you like an insert putter or a milled face? Alright guys, here we go. What I'm going to do is try to do kind of a plunge in the middle so that then I can work my way out to the edge. It is just a bit deeper, so we'll see how this works. broke because pieces are breaking off as it crumbles. So it's going the whole depth. I'm just going to keep working and pull it up, clean it all out, and then we'll figure out how to make it work later. That kind of makes like a little honeycomb looking thing, kind of like the Bettinardi's have, so that's kind of cool. Alright, let me see if I can show that to you. It's kind of got a little fish scale kind of look to it, maybe kind of honeycomb look. And then I took the ball peen and kind of just flattened them out. So they're not raised or ridges. It does feel like a little texture on there, but nothing that's going to interfere with a ball rolling. So it just gives it a little bit of look, kind of contour-y look to it. Alright guys, next phase, we're back to it. I got the putter pretty much prepped, ready for paint. The insert I think is pretty close to where I want it. And so now tonight we're going to be painting the putter with the Cerakote. Alright guys, I got the paint pretty well mixed up I think. This is the cap with the color in there. I don't know if it shows up, but it's called titanium. It's kind of a bronzy, metal-y looking titanium. I'm going to be spraying at about 20 to 25 psi, somewhere in there. I guess if we screw it up, we can always sandblast it back off, right? Alright guys, this looks pretty good. I don't know how much you'll be able to tell. I don't want to drop it, but if it's focusing in or not. But that's the new titanium color on it. So I'm going to let this dry for overnight. It says about an hour, 40 to 60 minutes. It will be dry to the touch, the tackiness. And then in about 24 hours it should be partially cured, and then about 5 days total it'll be completely cured. So I'm going to leave it tonight and let it cure, at least the first curing, and then I'm going to look at where I might want to do the two-tone on it with the regular titanium. Let me show you that color. So this one is called Glacier Titanium, and I'm thinking about doing kind of a two-tone because this is kind of more of a bronze color, which I want the face and the top and everything to be that color because that'll mix good with the copper, or it'll look good with that copper if I can get that copper to work. And it's hot today again. And then this is like a Glacier Titanium. It's kind of more of a silvery color, and so that's what I'm thinking about doing as a two-tone thing. If I can figure out good lines to where it would separate well. But we'll worry about that later. So I'm going to clean up the airbrush, and then when we come back, we'll be on to the next phase of either two-toning or we'll be putting the copper in. Alright everybody, we're back again tonight. Work on the putter again. I'm going to show you something that I've been working on. Last night I came and I actually did a little painting. So this is what it looks like for the most part. It's got the bronzy kind of titanium look. And then I didn't set up the camera and show you guys. I mean, you saw the first time painting, but I don't know if you'll see, but on that very back part, on the base, that lined part, I just added a little silver two-tone. That's the glacier titanium to add on there to just give it a little bit of a color change. Now tonight, the goal is to put the copper insert into the face. Alright guys, I'm just going to kind of do it and let you guys watch the process. So this is just a typical two-part epoxy glue. You squeeze it out, equal parts, mix it up, and then it gets really sticky. So ideally I don't want to get this on my hands, but I know I'm going to because I'm going to be pressing that down in there. So I just got to get it good and mixed up. This is a quick set epoxy. So I did kind of squiggle on the edges a bit. I don't want that there. But the acetone should get that off. And then if the worst comes to worst, I can sand it, and then I may have to retouch up the paint with my airbrush if it messes up the paint. But this stuff should kind of self-level if I have this fairly level. I just kind of got to gauge how much I need to be able to put just level with it. So we'll see what happens. It might sit, it might go drop down too far, I don't know. It's not bad. I think if I run the stick across this way, I can get that excess glue for the most part and feel if that's level across there. I knew it was going to be hard to set that to get it level and push that down because the bottom insert of the putter, that part where the insert goes, is not 100% level. There's a ridge in there and I couldn't sand it out all the way. And so I knew it wasn't going to be sitting perfectly level, but it's not bad, and I think I can get some clear epoxy to just kind of fill in there, hopefully. If that doesn't work, then the copper may have to come out and we just put straight epoxy in there. Let me show you from a closer view kind of what we're looking at. That's what it'll look like if I can get it to sit and get the epoxy level up on top of it, so that the ball actually hits a level surface rather than the ridges of that putter. I'm going to let that sit or at least overnight. That'll be sitting, it'll be good and hard and dry, and then we can do the epoxy on top of the copper, level that off, kind of sand it down if we need, and then it'll be paint fill, put the shaft back on, and we'll be good to go. Alright everybody, we are back. It's been a few days. I went on a long weekend. I was out of town for a little bit, and when I got back I was thinking about it. I just wasn't happy with the way the copper was sitting, and I decided I didn't really want to fill it in with epoxy and have the ball hitting the epoxy instead of the copper. So when I got back, I basically heated up the epoxy to take the copper out. Then what I did was created a few pieces of kind of a bridge in there. Then with that, I was able to put the epoxy all around those little bridge pieces, reset the copper in, and squeeze around it and get the border black epoxy you can kind of see. And then I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but now the copper is just above the face of the putter on the border, and so now the ball will actually contact the copper. And then if it's a little too high and it's coming off a little bit too weird, I can take this on my belt sander, sand it down and make it even, kind of resurface the copper, and then repaint the front edge of the putter if I need to with the airbrush. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll probably be okay. As long as it can roll, you know, off of the copper okay, I think it'll be fine. So the next step is I'm going to paint fill the line and the snake eyes part and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just kind of set up the camera and do that and let you guys see that process, and hopefully that goes well. So that's what's next. Stick around. Alright, so here is the finished paint fill. That's the little snake eyes on the back and my alignment line. And then on the bottom, it's upside down. We have the snake eyes logo with the lettering, and then the SL4 with the B1 model. This is not the original colors. The SL4 was black and red, and then the line was black, white, and red. But I like the blue better, so a little contrast. Gives it a little bit more color. So the next step, I'm going to clear coat it, and then we'll put the shaft in. Alright, guys, we're back. Time to clear coat. I'm going to be using an automotive grade clear coat, kind of gloss clear coat, just to kind of cover it and protect it. Hopefully this will shine it up just a little bit, make it pop a little bit, but mainly just protect it and hopefully seal the copper to maybe it won't oxidize and turn green. Okay, that's it for that. We'll let that dry, see how it looks, maybe put another coat on it. Probably not, just let that go. Hopefully it won't drip. And then we'll put the shaft on, we should be good to go. Alright guys, I am back with the final product tonight of the putter build. Here is the final product. The shaft's on. I've tried it at work. I like the way it feels. It's a little bit more solid and hot off the face than the old insert. Had a little bit more of a soft clicky feel. This is kind of more of a hard feel. So here is the final product of the paint fill. I don't know if that's focusing or not. I can't tell in the viewfinder here. The final product of the snake eyes on the back with the alignment line. So the final color with the two-tone of the titanium on the main putter, and then the glacier titanium just this back line, and then that is the final product right there. So I think it turned out pretty good for, you know, my first time of trying to do something like that. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and follow along. It's free to do. It doesn't cost you a cent. If you like the video, hit that little thumbs up down below, and don't forget the bell so that when I come out with new videos you won't miss anything. Alright, that's it for today's video. Until next time, hit them long, hit them straight. We'll see you later.